Thank you so much for staying with us, and we continue our recap of Day 7 of the Commonwealth Games being held in Birmingham, England. The Jamaica Sunshine Girls rallied from a 6-point fourth-quarter deficit to beat three-time champions Australia 57-55 to top Pool A earlier on Thursday. In a match to see who would top the pool, the Sunshine Girls led by ace shooter Janelle Fowler's 47 goals from 50 attempts and Shanice Beckford's perfect 10 from 10 outscored the Diamonds 79 in the fourth quarter to record a famous win. Ricardo Chambers was at the NEC Arena in Birmingham and he caught up with a very jubilant Janelle Fowler.
What a terrific match tonight, and what a terrific performance from the Jamaicans. First of all, just talk to me about how massive this is for the team.
Oh my God, I cannot say, but it's a big confidence booster for us because we know it was going to be a hard game for us because Australia, of course, they're number one and we know they're going to come out strong. But yeah, it's a real confidence booster for us.
You know, I watched at the end of that game the way you were marshalling the troops when you took the lead, ensuring that there were no turnovers. How important was it for you to lead from the front out there, especially in the tight moments?
Yeah, it was very important because I know that we had to stay disciplined, we had to stay focused, and I had to drive that from the back, you know, and as the captain as well, I had to make sure that we were staying steady or level-headed. So yeah, it was very important for us to bring that ball down without a turnover.
I would say there were some controversial calls, especially in the third quarter. Saw you and Sterling have a chat with the officials before the start of the fourth quarter. What was that chat about?
It was just about Shamira and her 3-feet mark. I reckon that she was giving a good 3 feet, but then we had to get clarity from the umpires as to what she was doing that they deemed wrong. So we got that clarity, and as you can see, she adjusted, and yeah, it just was up from there.
How does this team stay focused now with the semi-finals to come? The job far from over, and I'm sure the expectations will rise now.
Listen, whilst the job is far from over, I reckon we still have to sit in this moment and soak this up and appreciate what we have done out there against a world-class team who has far better resources than us. So we have to sit in this for a while, enjoy it, and then it's back to work.
Well, this morning was quite a show. Congratulations on a magnificent victory. I guess you can call that a Commonwealth Games Classic, and Jamaica came out on top.
Thank you.
Australia entered the contest as favourites, but the head coach Stacey Marinkovic says she isn't surprised by defeat as she knows the quality of the Sunshine Girls.
Australian coach Stacey Marinkovic. Stacey, this was a really tough match tonight. Talk me through it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, full credit to Jamaica. They really held their game plan and they really punched hard at the end of the game, and we just got a little bit congested. So some incredible lessons that we've got to learn in this moment and take that into the next game.
Over the years, so many times the Jamaicans have played 2 good quarters and then fallen away at the back end of matches. Were you surprised they were able to sustain their level for so long this morning?
No, I think, you know, there's 6 Suncourt Super Netball players in that group that are incredibly talented, and they certainly are connecting well with the rest of their team. So you know that they can move really well. They've got a defence end that'll contest hard, and Janelle at the back obviously is a good way to finish off.
Of course, it was a terrific match, no doubt about that. You came out on the losing end of that. How disappointed are you, especially because you had a 6-goal lead at the end of the third?
Yeah, I think that's the part that probably is a little bit more disappointing, is that we built the lead and we were ready to take that next step, and that's the things that we've got to learn from this game and work out what changed and what made us change the way in which we were moving the ball.
Well, you're into the semi-finals, and that's very important. How do you plan now for that and get the girls back up and ready to compete?
Oh, they're a really competitive bunch, and we know that we want to improve every time we step out there. We'll see what happens with the game tonight between England and New Zealand, then obviously reset and make sure we're really focused and set to go for that.
All the best.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, the Sunshine Girls head coach Connie Francis says beating Australia was a lot of hard work and preparation.
Connie Francis, you've done it again. You're part of history when it comes to the Sunshine Girls. For the first time in history, we've beaten Australia at a championship. First of all, As someone who has been there for such a long time, first as player and now as coach, what does this mean to you and by extension this team?
I mean, it means the world to me to see the hard work coming through. It brings me back to days when I was a player. And then I remember that the last time we have beaten Australia is actually when I was a player and a coach. I thought that with this group of girls, having heaps of experience in our team, I think that this was our best shot. And they are playing solid netballers. I know the pressure was on our mid-quarters, so we have done the groundwork, took them through the drills, the skills, and it's not only myself alone, our fitness coach. So it's a contingent of support staff that will help these girls to push through. And I'm very happy and proud to see what we have accomplished today, and especially Jamaica 60th, trust me.
Yeah, well, this reporter rates you highly as a coach. I remember 2007 when you were guiding the team and how we got ourselves in some great positions against England, New Zealand. I remember that World Cup semi-final when we led by 10 and then fell away in the closing stages. And I look at the netball that this team is playing, and it's so similar in terms of the patience they show quite often when they're in attack. But just talk to me about how important it was in those final 2 quarters, especially when you went behind by 6. What were the discussions like with the team?
First of all, we realized that we were the one making simple mistakes, especially on our center pass. Our defending team, experienced, but they were under some pressure, and they are guided by a very good defensive coach. And what I love about them is how they adjusted their game. Our attacking team, let's peg and take care of our center passes. Go back to the basics, push it around, look for short and long passes, something that we are not accustomed to, but which we have implemented for this tournament. That we're going to be very patient. We're not going to make silly passes. Only one silly turnover is on the side, and I thought that we shouldn't have gone there on the side because we had other players in the midst who can actually get the ball. But all in all, I thought that if we keep our composure, press the scoreboard, press our defending team, keep pushing, something will break through. And it is important that the girls know and they relish the challenge that at this point, this stage in the latter part of the game, that when we surge forward, they were determined to keep the lead, because that is what we have been practicing, and that is what they wanted. They wanted this victory more than anything else.
What did you make of the calling, especially in the 3rd quarter?
I'm on the sideline. The umpire have their work cut out for them. I mean, we're all netballers. We're not perfect, so we just have to live and just rise above anything that comes. We just have to make sure that when we have it, we don't make careless passes and we don't make careless contacts that take ourselves out of it. And I can tell you that this is what I'm loving with our team defense, is that we are not creating unnecessary contact. So calls with made, we can't do anything about it, but just to push forward and especially to raise the tempo of the game.
You know, the job is far from done. Of course, you'll enjoy this moment, but there is still a semi-final and hopefully a final to come. The expectations, both from inside and outside the camp, will be raised now after this terrific performance. How do you keep the team, well, to use a netball term, centered for what is to come?
They are more centered than me. I will come up with ideas and say, and we look at the video and said we need to correct it, and they said, Coach, we have this. Coach, we have this. You know, my daughter Shari's back home, she said, Mommy, you'll make it to the finals, but if you go to the finals, you can win. And I think that these girls are even more determined than what my daughter has said. These girls are willing and they're ready to take on this gold medal. We are going to, the aim is for them to forego the silver and aim for the bronze. For the gold, sorry. We are past bronze, I'm sorry about that. I think that these core girls are aiming for the top spot, and they can certainly get it.
Well, terrific performance tonight. Certainly one of the best we've ever seen from Jamaica. Congratulations on a great job.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Jamaica. Big on yourself up.
And, well, in case you didn't get the news, Jamaica will be playing New Zealand in the semi-finals. So, Leighton, a well-earned victory for the Sunshine Girls. They've worked very, very hard. They were led from the front by Janelle Fowler. She had 47 from her 50 attempts, you know, top stuff. And, of course, the entire unit playing. You can see the chemistry amongst the ladies and walking away with a win against a a powerhouse like
Yeah,
Australia.
but they have a lot of work to do. The victory is nice, and I like the idea that they were able to rally from 6 points down. They tied the game with 8 minutes to go and took the lead with 4 minutes to go and held the lead, which was important. But here's some interesting information about the game. Jamaica won 1 quarter. That's the final quarter, 17-9.
Yes.
They lost the first quarter 14-13. The second quarter they tied 16-all, and then Australia took a 6-point lead, winning the third quarter 16-11. If we play them again in the finals or anywhere, in fact, New Zealand or England, whoever we play next, we cannot afford to be at a deficit
Yes.
like this, because not every day is going to have a fourth quarter like the one that they had last night. So there's a lot of work to do. You heard the coach talk about the patience of the team. That's something that they did well, but they have to be better at it. The center passes also, they have to be more patient and find the right pass. There's no need to rush. There's no time limit on when you can hold the ball. Pass the ball, ensure that the passes that you're making are high percentage passes. If they do that, they'll be able to beat any team out there, because historically, Jamaica has always had a problem with turnovers, and the other team tends to capitalize on those turnovers.
Yeah.
We have the best shooter in the world. In fact, we have probably 3 best shooters in the world in Shimona Nelson, and of course, Johnny Fowler. Of course, there's also Shanice Beckford.
Yeah.
The Sunshine Girls have the tools. They just need to use those tools better, and if they do that, they'll be on top of the world.
Would you say that, that match against Australia came down to mental toughness, and of course Jamaica won that battle?
Yeah, and it's belief. Huh? I think traditionally Jamaica has gone into games against New Zealand and Australia thinking that we're not going to be able to do this. I think this team believes that they can actually beat them, because they play against these girls every day in the Suncorp Super League and in the league in the UK. So they know what these players are. They're more familiar with them now. They know their strengths, they know their weaknesses. And if you look at the categories in the Suncorp Super League, Shamira Sterling is top of her category, Janelle Fowler top of her category, Simone Nelson is in the top 3 or 4 in her category. All of them are among the best players in the Suncorp Super League.
Yes.
So if they put those talents together and play like they can, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to win.
And talk to us just a brief bit about the strength of the New Zealand team.
Strong as Australia. Australia and New Zealand take netball very seriously. These are girls who are committed, they are nerves of steel, and they have a hunger that you will never find in another netball team across the world. So going into a game against New Zealand, notwithstanding the victory against Australia, New Zealand will be just as tough.
Yeah.
And we have to ensure all those things that I said, that Jamaica has to take better care of the ball, be patient, find the right passes, and get the ball into Janelle Fowler or Shimona Nelson or Shanice Beckford, whoever is in the circle, and they will win. The thing is that they can't afford silly mistakes and silly turnovers.
Yeah, well, what we do know, and we heard it from Leighton himself, the match against New Zealand will not be a walk in the park, but we're looking forward to see the Sunshine Girls. And of course, you too can watch all the action right here on your Home of Champions.